Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed another week, a new day, a bright Sunday, the day that the Lord has made, that we should all be glad and rejoice. Today is yet another episode of From the Beginning. One may ask, what is from the beginning? It is life experience, which is very, very important. The reason why this is important is because someone is stuck up there and doesn't know where to go, where to begin, and where to move or take a step forward to become what he or she wants to become. It might not be money, but even the ideas of putting yourself together alone sometimes it's not easy. You need someone who has already been there to show you the way, to guide you through for you to be able to reach your destination. This afternoon is a good time and to have a very, very important person with us this afternoon. Indeed, it is very hard to get hold of him. So if we are blessed to have him this afternoon, I mean, I can tell you, the Father, we are blessed indeed. We have our own brother, Mr. Michael Agyei, with us this afternoon. Brother Michael, you're welcome to Richmond Media.
Thank you so much. Absolutely an honor and a pleasure to be here with you on this afternoon.
Thank you so much. The topic for today is becoming a journey to becoming CEO for the Inside Academy. Brother Michael will take us through how he got to this point. No one knows. He will be able to guide us through his journey to a successful profession as he is at the moment. Brother Michael, I know you don't know me. How can the rest know about you? Thank you so much.
Sure. First of all, I want to just thank you for the invitation to be here on this show. It's absolutely an honor and a privilege. It's always an honor to be able to share my story and my journey. Now, for those who don't know me, my name is Michael Agyei. Born and raised here in the UK, but from Ghana originally. I am married, been married for 8 years now to the beautiful Melissa Agyei. And I also have three beautiful children, 7, 5, and 4. So yeah, my family's something that's very important to me. I'm the oldest of 4 here in the UK, and I'm the CEO of the mindset consultancy Inside Job Academy. Now, Inside Job Academy, like I said, is a mindset consultancy that helps individuals, business owners, and corporations to be able to achieve their goals by the renewing of their mind. Using scientifically, verifiable techniques. I help individuals to better discover themselves and develop the right characteristics and habits that they need to have in order for them to be able to achieve their goals. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Thank you so much, Brother Michael, for taking us through your life experience. How has it been? We know the number of siblings that you've got, where you were born. Where did life? I know everything began in the UK, but which schools have you been through that people will also know your journey through up to this point? Thank you.
Sure, it has been a journey for myself. So, my parents came to this country, didn't really have much. The story of our parents and those who came before us, it wasn't easy. And for me, I think there's where I got a lot of my lessons about resilience and being able to just take the little that you have and do the best that you can. Because seeing my parents working, my dad came working as a nurse. He was working night duties. My mom also doing admin in England revenue. But before that, doing kind of morning cleaning in the morning before going to her job. We didn't grow up with much, but we were happy. My parents did all that they can to ensure that we had the best that we can. But one thing that I did notice that, my parents were always kind of in debt. And I think I'll get to that a little bit later, because that really shaped my mind and my blueprint. But yeah, I grew up in South London. I went to a school called Deptford Green. That was my secondary school. And when I grew up, I had a love for science. I really loved that subject, especially biology, seeing how, the body works, the heart, the mind. So I really loved science. And I also had a love for helping people. So that love for science and love for helping people kind of led me to wanting to become a doctor. So that was my ambition as a young person. And again, being a doctor, especially from a Ghanaian home, they want their children to be either doctors, lawyers, or engineers. So my ambition fell in line with a profession that my parents were proud of. So loving science. I remember when we went to Ghana for the first time in 1999. That was the first time that, my parents managed to get money, our immigration status correct to be able to go to Ghana. Now, my parents are so proud of me. My dad, everywhere we went, he was calling me the young doctor. The young doctor is here. The young doctor is here. And me, 12-year-old, being called a young doctor already, I felt proud. So I remember one time I took a first aid kit with me to Ghana. And we went to my dad's village called Bipwa, telling everyone the young doctor is here. One of his cousins, his daughter had a rash on her hand. And he has heard that the young doctor is here. So he brought his daughter to me and said, my daughter has a rash on her hand. And me, I've been calling it a young doctor. So I went to go and get my first aid kit. And I put some antiseptic cream on that young girl's hand. Lo and behold, a few days later, the rash was gone.
Wow, the doctor is performing his work.
Oh man, so that really embedded in my mind, and a lesson that I want to be sharing, especially with parents, is that the words that you speak to your children goes in their mind, their subconscious mind, and it frames the way they respond and act. Because I was called a young doctor at such a young age, I began to believe the words in which my parents were saying to me. So that led me to continue to do sciences, in A level. But one thing they don't tell you is the gap between GCSE and A level. It's such a huge gap that they don't prepare you for, right? So though I did very well in my GCSEs, I wasn't prepared for the work that was needed in order for me to achieve in A levels, right? So I didn't do well in A levels at all. In fact, I absolutely failed. I did the free sciences and maths. I got DEEU. Hi, the boy wanting to be a doctor. It was a huge setback. I didn't allow that setback to continue, and I just persevered and went to university. So that's a little bit of a background in terms of, what my aspiration was at the beginning, to become a doctor. Going to secondary school, going to university. I did biomedical science, and my master's was in hematology, which is the study of the blood.
Okay. Which university did you go to?
I went to Kingston University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then that means you were nearly there.
I was.
Yes, because taking hematology,
Yeah.
biological science. That means anyway, we will know how and where you pass to get to inside academy.
Yes.
An entrepreneur.
Mm.
How is life for you in the UK as a Black entrepreneur?
For me, my dad always used to say to me that, those who have money are those who are in business. Right. So he instilled in me that, business, and I always saw him starting different businesses. My dad loved business. He just wasn't that good at it. Right. but he knew the value of being in business. So
Don't forget your dad is a quote.
no, my mom,
Aha.
my mom, my mom is a quote. So yeah, that's
Aha.
the
So
business. I mean, too, I'm a quote. So that's where the entrepreneurship
exactly.
is in the blood. Is in the blood. But here in the UK, the reality is this, right? There are so much opportunities, and I really want to be clear with everybody here that your success in business has nothing to do with the economy, has nothing to do with the political landscape, even though it has an influence and an impact. Your ultimate success begins with you. And the reason why I say this is because look at COVID-19, the pandemic. This was a time when industries were shut down. Many individuals lost their jobs. It was a hard time for a lot of people. But do you know that in that same space, 5 million new millionaires were created in the world? The time when industries were shut down, people were losing their jobs, we call it a recession. But I want to let people know, and to answer your question about how is it like in the UK, a recession is simply a transfer of wealth. When somebody is losing money, somebody is gaining money. When somebody is losing their house due to not being able to pay their mortgage, somebody is buying a house. So you have to ask yourself, what side of that wealth transfer do you want to be on? So yes, being an entrepreneur, a Black entrepreneur, will have its challenges in the UK. It will. The statistics say that, maybe male white entrepreneurs may be more likely to get funding for their business. Yes, all the statistics may be true. But you have to determine and you have to make the decision that you are going to be the captain of your ship. That whatever storms of life or challenges may hit you, you determine where the sail is to be set. And that's what I always say. It has its challenges being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur ain't easy, but it is a path that really develops you to become the person that you need to be.
Thank you so much. So, to becoming the person that you want to be as you are, who has been your greatest inspiration and a motivator?
That's a good question. I've had a lot of inspirations in my life, right? People who I've seen and have inspired me, from well-known individuals such as Les Brown, who is a motivational speaker, coming from humble beginnings, being able to use his story to be able to achieve masses. Bob Proctor, the late Bob Proctor, one of my mentors, who again didn't really have strong education, but he was able to come across the secrets of success, and was able to use it to be able to change his life around. And coming closer to home, very recently, somebody who's really been able to inspire me the more I've heard his story, apart from my parents, who's again, their story is inspirational. One person who's been able to really inspire me is my father-in-law. My wife, Melissa, her dad. When I listen to his story, it really blows my mind how he was able to come from Ghana to Germany, not knowing the language at the tender age of 19. The man who brought him, brought a group of them into Germany as like, we have brought you here. You're now on your own, not knowing anyone. There's a time where he was sleeping at the bus station, until he came across another Ghanaian who said, you know what, you've reached, let me help you. And he went through so much in his life, being beaten up by some ruffians, to where he is now. It has really been an inspiration to me that it doesn't matter how you start, but how you finish. These are some of the individuals who have inspired me. I mentioned Les Brown. I mentioned Bob Proctor, my parents, but very recently, my father-in-law, his story. Every day I find out something more about his story that really inspires me, because he came alone, but because of how hard he worked, he's managed to bring over nearly half his family. He opened the way, and it's been such an inspiration.
Thank you so much, Brother Michael, for such an inspirational journey, as I can put it. How do you, as a father, a husband, a son, a brother, an uncle, how do you balance your work with family life?
This is something that I'm still learning, because it isn't an easy role. And my hats go off to all the fathers out there who are, navigating this balance of being able to not only be there, but be present. And I really, really understood the difference, because many fathers are home, but they're not present. And there was a season of my life where that was me. I was here, but I wasn't here. My body was here, but my mind was somewhere else. Until I realized that the impact that I have on my children is not just the words that I say, but the things that I do. And I started to have an increased awareness of that. So right now, practically how I do it is to make sure that when I'm working, I'm working. When I'm with the kids, I'm with the kids. Because before I'll be with them, but I'll still be on my phone working. But making sure that practically when I'm with them, my phone is away. And I make sure that I do even schedule time with my wife, to spend time with her. Because again, as entrepreneurs, especially at the beginning, when we're trying to lay the foundation, we're putting 110%. And we're saying to our wives, you don't understand, we're here working for you. And yes, they know that, but they also want you to be present. So it's something that I'm navigating now. I'm becoming better each day. But one way in which I'm doing it is to be able to schedule time and make sure that I'm not only there, but I'm present both in the mind and in the body.
Thank you so much. As a CEO of Inside Academy, what are some of your accomplishments?
Yeah, so the accomplishments with my company, Inside Job Academy, and more widely, as an entrepreneur, I've been able to work with individuals for them to really understand that they can transform their life by transforming their mind. I have different programs that I currently run. I have some that I work with the corporate, especially sales teams. So companies that have sales teams that really need a blueprint to be able to achieve their sales targets. I've worked with different companies to be able to help teams in terms of better communication. I have a program that helps people to be able to achieve their health goals. Because so many people have been on so many different diets and end up going back to their old weights, because they don't realize that it's about who you are and the way in which you see yourself that your results will be consistent with. You can go on a diet and lose weight, but if you don't change the way you see yourself in the mind, you will always go back. So I worked with many individuals to help them have drastic, health changes. And as a result of the entrepreneurship journey, I've been able to help my parents to be able to retire back in Ghana. And that's been something that has, I'll say is one of my biggest accomplishments, because like I said, seeing my parents work so hard for us, with the little that they have to give us an opportunity to be able to achieve our goals. It was always one of my, goals to be able to see them achieve theirs. And I say that has been one of my biggest accomplishments. Alongside helping other people, being able to even provide for my own family, having my wife being able to stay home and look after the house and the children, and even now going into her own entrepreneurship journey. So those have been some of my accomplishments.
Thank you so much. So, if someone is listening to us this afternoon, the person wants to become like Mr. Michael Agyei, but doesn't know which way to go through. Fine. Michael wanted to be a medical doctor. Then, change of mind, finally becoming CEO of Inside Job Academy. What advice would you give it to that person who wants to be like you?
The question is a question of, everybody wants to be successful and have success. Now, success will look different to different people. A man called Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, defines success as being the progressive realization of a worthy goal. Meaning, once you set yourself a goal, as long as you're moving towards that goal, you can classify yourself as successful. And some may ask, Michael, you wanted to be a doctor. You're now in the entrepreneurship space. For me, though I gave the definition of success, one that really resonates with myself is one from one of my other mentors, Myron Golden, that says success is discovering your purpose, developing yourself for that purpose, and then deploying yourself for that purpose. You're successful. So the tips that I will give to individuals where to start from in that discovery journey of your purpose is to make a list of what it is that you really want. What is it that you want? And be very clear on that. And when you're writing this list of what you want, don't have any limitations. Don't ask yourself, what is it that I want that I think I can achieve? Understand that whatever you conceive and believe, you can achieve. So start from there. What is it that you want? If you got to the end of your life, what would make you proud? What legacy would you want to leave? How would you want to be remembered? What experiences would you want? And that's the first step. We're not talking about the how you're going to achieve it. You have to be clear on what it is that you want. Because if you step into a car and you're about to start a journey, how could you even make the first move if you don't even know where you're going? So that's will be the first step. What is it that you want? What type of life do you want to live? Who would you want to give back to? And after you are pretty clear on that, you are on the way to achieving it. Because the issue with this is many people don't know what they want. Only 3% of the population have goals and have written it down. Yes, if I was to ask somebody what do they want now, they maybe can stop and think vaguely. But until you write it down, you don't even believe that it can happen. So that will be the first step. And after you've written down what it is that you want, the next question will be, who is it that you need to become in order for this to become a reality? Who is that person? What does that person look like? Let's just say one of your goals is to become a millionaire, for example. You want to make $1 million a year. That Michael that is making $1 million a year, what does it look like? What type of people is he hanging around? What type of information is he allowing to be able to consume into his mind? What type of food is he eating? How does he dress? And once you have been pretty clear on who that person is, the journey is now becoming that person. Now become that person. So those will be my initial steps. Number one, being clear exactly on what it is that you want, describing the person that you need to be. And the reason why I say this is actually biblical. Because if you look at Genesis chapter 1, the Bible says that God made man in his own image. And he said to man, be fruitful, do multiply, and have dominion. And that's the secret to success. Be fruitful, do multiply, have dominion. Be, do, have. Be, do, have. You be the person that you need to be in order for you to do what you need to do, and you will have what you want to have. Be, do, have is my secret to anyone listening who wants to achieve success in their life.
Brother Michael, you know what? It is really a great time to be with you this afternoon. And I'm very sure that this time that you have given to Richmond Media will be very fruitful. And that is what, as a CEO or an entrepreneur, you want to see. So, a Ghanaian, establish your own company in the UK. I know you will say your parents are, some say their parents are Ghanaians and they are not. But I don't know how a tree can be having one name and the branches will be having different source. So I classify you as a Ghanaian, though
Yes.
you were born in the UK. Establish your own company in the UK. What are some of the challenges and some of the strategies that you might not have been given to us? Thank you.
Good question. And, I always go back to the challenges that deal with us as individuals because being a business individual, a personnel, whether it's a service-based business or product-based, you're going to have so many different challenges in terms of, employee retention, and when it comes to, materials, delays, you're going to have all those challenges. But the biggest challenge that you will face as an entrepreneur is the challenge of your mind. That's the biggest challenge. The challenge of discipline, consistency, and commitment, especially in the midst of chaos. Because there will always be different challenges, and problems. Some people welcome problems. Why? Because problems and challenges draw out of you things that were not there. You have to figure out a way. When the problems come, you have to develop and become a person that's able to overcome them. So let me explain. Let me share with you my biggest challenge. I shared with you at the beginning that I didn't come from a very wealthy family. It was hard, and for that reason, I made it a life goal to be financially free. I said to myself, I want to become financially free in order to give my family, those around me, the life that they never had. So as I started this journey of entrepreneurship, I began wanting to become a doctor. I did my biomedical science, I did my master's. I'm sharing with you my story about challenges and how to overcome. And I did graduate medicine, the test, the entry exam. It was a 6-hour exam. It was so long. I took so long to prepare. I studied all night, all day, because I've gone down this different route, right? Because I didn't do well my A levels. There's still a route to go into medicine, which is graduate medicine. And fortunately or unfortunately, I failed that exam by 4 marks, and it crushed my spirit. I'm like, since I was 12, I wanted to become a doctor. I didn't do well in my A levels, but I've done my master's now and I've done this test. And I said to myself, you know what? I can still be in the medical field. I may maybe not be a doctor, but I can still work for a pharmaceutical company. So I didn't retake that test again. I could have. And I worked for some of the largest pharmaceutical companies. I was a medical science liaison, so in research, when the drugs come out, the research. I did that for a couple of years. But I said to myself, this is not going to let me become financially free as fast as I want. So let me go into entrepreneurship. We're talking about challenges. So now I've left my job. I've left my job now and I've gone into entrepreneurship. My first entrepreneurship job was in network marketing, where you have a product and you build a team. And I did very, very well in that. Then I decided to do a gospel concert. I bought some of the biggest gospel artists from America. I got introduced to a business partner in Canada, and we both brought money into this business opportunity. And he stabbed me in the back. We're talking about challenges. One of the challenges is the people that you do business with. Be very careful, because not everybody that comes with particular skills that they can help you. He stabbed me in the back, ended up stealing the money, and I lost everything. To the fact that even my house that I had purchased was on the line of being repossessed. Many people didn't know this because I still showed up in church, still had a smile in my face, but this is what I was suffering with behind the scenes. We're talking about entrepreneurs and the challenges that you have. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to still work hard. Even that time, Melissa had to go to Germany with the children because there was just so much happening here that I was just trying to make things happen. But I didn't give up. Something said to me that there's still light at the end of the tunnel. So I began to work hard in my network marketing business, still working hard, began to get my head above water a little bit. And one day, I went to a meeting in central London. Normally, I would take train, but I don't know why I drove that day. And when I drove that day, I remember reaching a place in London called Vauxhall. And as I was curving on this road, I ended up mounting the pavement and I hit somebody on the pavement, not knowing that the person that I hit with my car was a police officer. It was incredible. Like my mind, I didn't know. It was just crazy. And to cut a long story short, I was told that I've never ever been in trouble with the police before. I'm a person of the church. I have a family. So a lot of people were writing me references. And I was told that the worst I'm going to get is community service because I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't drinking. But I got sentenced to 13 months in prison. This is somebody who is on his entrepreneur journey. And I'm saying to you that, yes, there could be so many things that can happen in your business that will challenge you, but the worst ones is the storms of life. And this was the second big storm in my life. The first one was the business where I got stabbed in the back, losing everything. Managed to get my place, okay, position, not clear, still got debts, but now my freedom is gone. We're talking about challenges. And it broke my spirit. I was just asking God, why? Like, this doesn't make sense. Even using the word prison and Michael is a sentence that people, like, it doesn't even mix together. But I made a decision in the darkest moment of my life that I can either react or I can respond. So I decided to use this time to pour into myself. I started to read books like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. I read the Bible. I got reconnected with God. I started to transform my mind. And when I came out of jail, would you believe that year, I made more money that year than I had made in my entire life. That year, everything changed for me. And it reaffirmed to me that the success that you're looking for, the happiness that you're looking for, is in fact an inside job. So that's where my company was birthed from. Because I realized that prior to that, I was trying to work hard on my job. I was looking for opportunities. I would put money in this business. I would do this. But I never got the success I was looking for until I renewed my mind and I poured into myself. And that's when I started this company. So the challenges that people will face are the challenges of life. But Jim Rohn famously said, it is not the storm or the winds that determine the destination, but it's the setting of the sail. Why? Because the wind will blow on us all, but it's the setting of the sail what will determine where you end up in life. So the challenges, let's welcome them. They will come, but make sure we welcome them with a renewed mind, and we'll be able to achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve.
Thank you so much, Brother Michael. Your story, your journey is very touching one, which I'm very sure whoever is listening to this program or will be listening to it or watching it later will have something from it that the person will ponder over it to become somebody, knowing that the storm, no matter. Sometimes you try to say, it's like to keep yourself away
Yeah,
from, but that is the time that it will say, here I am.
that's it.
I am the one that you have to face. But
Mm,
indeed, when God takes you out of that,
yes.
there follows your everlasting joy.
Yeah.
We are so blessed to have you this afternoon. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
We
you.
are bringing the program to a close, and I would like to give you the opportunity, if you want to give your contact details out, that people would like to contact you for the purpose of your job, advice, or anything that they think they can benefit from you in order to get them back on their track of their professional journey. Or you have to wish someone of anything. The platform is yours, please. Thank you.
Sure, sure. So, any of you, if you're currently feeling stuck, you're feeling stuck, whether you're in your business, you're an entrepreneur, really looking to scale your business or your corporation, thinking of ways in which you can increase your bottom line. Here at the Inside Job Academy, we'll be able to give you the tools that you need in order for you to achieve your goals. You can go onto my website, michaelagyei.com or insidejobacademy.com, where you'll be able to get our contact details. I'm also on Instagram at I am Michael Agyei, and you can connect with myself to be able to really get the lessons and the strategy that you need to be able to achieve more going into the year. So what I want to leave everyone else as we go into a new year, so many of us go into a new year with new year resolutions. We go with, aspirations. And what happens is life gets into the way and we end up giving up and we are stuck in this cycle. But I want to let you know, of who it is that you are, created in the image of God. What that means is you have everything that you need to be able to achieve whatever it is that you want. Everything in this world is created twice. First in the mind and then in reality. Let's take this iPhone, for instance. It was first created in the mind of Steve Jobs, and then it came into reality, right? The Tesla car was first created in the mind of Elon Musk. Then it came into reality. So you must first create the life that you want in your mind. Fall in love with the idea of what it is that you want. Once you're clear of that and you fall in love with that idea, knowing that you can achieve it, it would manifest itself based on the actions that you take on a day-to-day basis. So don't give up. Don't allow the news and the media to distract you, because that's all it does. Don't bombard yourself with that negative narrative, because whatever consumes your mind controls your life. Pour into yourself information. Surround yourself with individuals who are inspiring. And I'm telling you, 2024 will be a year that you never forget. And remember, it's always been an inside job.
Thank you so much, the CEO of Inside Job Academy. It is a lovely time with you this afternoon, right at Richmond Media, to the doorsteps of every individual watching or listening to us. His time is hard to give out, but today we are blessed to have him here and to complete our journey from the beginning. Once again, becoming an entrepreneur as CEO of Inside Academy. Tomorrow, it might be you through the story that Brother Michael has shared with us. Brother Michael, may the good Lord continue to bless you and to enhance your territory as you keep on, you journey on to become either billionaire or above. That's what I am wishing for you as a sister and everyone within your family and friends. To everyone that has kept time with us this afternoon, we say, may God bless you as we journey through another week. May this week bring us joy and happiness. To Richmond Media, we say thank you so much for giving us this platform this afternoon. Until the same time again, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, from the beginning coming to your doorsteps. My name is Hanna Bimah, and until then, it's bye-bye for now. Thank you for watching us.
Wakumani wajina na seudo yonku udo unia seua sasa sieni dani butu mipo tutu okupumpa Insuro no kao da Yesu kao odiweni Yesu kao to